Right. Good morning. We're back. It's 9:19 on a Wednesday. 2 p.m. this Sunday. Butlers Courtyard is holding a winter open house. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you're watching on Facebook,
so fun.
Share this out. And I'm going to kick us on the FM so we can get into this. Here we go. Good morning. This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. I'm joined by Butlers Courtyard. I have Shauna. I have Amber in studio. We are going to be learning about everything that's going on. What do you need to do if you are newly engaged? What do you need to do if you got that perfect ring over the holiday season? Good morning. How are y'all doing?
Good morning. We're good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm Christmas is over. It's the new year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited. I feel like
New year, new you.
Like winter time. Oh yeah, for sure. I totally 180 from what that junk I was doing before, right?
Yeah.
So holiday time, a lot of people get engaged. Is that
they do
a normal trend?
Full swing engagement season.
So this is engagement season. Mm-hmm. And then for you guys, there's weddings year round. I feel like it's always wedding season.
Yes. That's so true.
Yes, it is.
Texas, we're blessed because we don't have to worry about, snow.
Yeah.
Like that, so.
It's a nice climate here.
Yeah.
It's always a good time to get married, especially at Butlers.
Of course, hello.
So where are you guys located, and so where is that event that's taking place this Sunday?
So we're in the heart of League City in the historic district on the corner of Michigan and 2nd. We have a historic brick building, and we currently have the white wedding tent out, and we have the whole block there. So at 2 to 5 on Sunday, we want to invite everyone to come out, and if you know anyone engaged, which everybody knows someone who's engaged, right?
Or wants to be.
I do know.
Statistics are someone engaged or almost engaged.
Or should be engaged.
Yeah, please tell them about this event. Send them out. We've got a lot of great giveaways going on. You can taste food, taste cake. We will have the Texans game playing, so you don't have to fear missing that. And even if you're not sure where you're getting married, at the very least you can come and meet some awesome vendors that you could take with you to another venue if you don't choose Butlers.
About how many vendors are there right now? I know space can be limited.
We usually get around 25 vendors.
Okay.
We put them in the tent. They're in the different houses, 2 bridal shops, hair and makeup people. Kendra Scott pop-up will be in the Rose Cottage where the bride gets dressed.
Discounts. Our Butlers discounts.
Yeah.
Kendra.
Cool.
But it's not any vendor. I just want to make sure that people understand that. It is our
preferred
vendors.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not, we don't just let anybody come in. It's the people that we've worked with and that we trust to work with our bride and grooms and families. So.
Hey, and here's Robin with Axe Masters. We were just talking about Axe Masters because we have this beautiful target over here with the axe. And sometimes I need to move it over here and mount it up so it's behind us.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
Have y'all had, someone set up their mobile unit at a wedding yet?
No, we haven't.
That would be a really cool option. I feel like that'd be fun.
Yes.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
And we would be totally open to that.
Yeah.
Axe Masters.
Axe Masters.
At your wedding, potentially.
Yeah. Why not? Or go do a shower there or a pre-party or something.
Rehearsal dinner, get that in.
So my buddy, he got married not last year, but the year before in Pittsburgh, and there was an axe throwing arena where we did his bachelor party.
Yeah.
So we took this big it wasn't like a bus, but a people mover thing, and we all fit in there. It was 20 people. I know I went to Christian school, and that's what we called it. It was a straight up people mover. So we got in, 20 of us or however many went to the axe place, and that was the first time I saw that, and it was a really fun time.
That is fun.
It's cool.
That is really cool.
So what do you got going on? I see there is so much paper in front of you.
So many things, so much stuff to talk about. Well, first, I just want to bring it back to our open house for a minute and let people know some of the cool things that we're doing. That way you can come out yourself or pass the word on to your friends and family that are engaged. We're currently offering a free enhancement package to anyone that books an open house, and anybody that wants to get in between now and then and lock in their date, because we will book a lot. So it's smart to lock in your date. We would happily extend that between now and Sunday. And so that's the enhancement package. That's an add-on that's $1,000 value that a lot of our couples pay for. And it comes with special uplighting and upgraded linens, a hotel room blocking, a nice little muffin bar set up in the Rose Cottage, and
their bubbles.
They're just a couple of great, really the chargers, nice add-ons to just really customize your wedding. And so that's $1,000 gift just as a thank you for booking during our exciting open house week. And then because we want to embrace the excitement around the Texans, right? even though we've established I'm a Cowboys fan, I'm still excited for our city, and let's be excited. So we're gonna what do we say? We're gonna mattress mack it, and if you book at open house before the end of the game, disclaimers here.
Yes, disclaimer.
Okay.
And the Texans win, I will go back into your invoice and give you $1,000 discount. So we're giving away a free ceremony.
Free ceremony.
So the ceremony is $1,000 add on to your venue rental. So if the Texans win, you win.
Do you think there's going to be a lot of brides that are waiting to like the fourth quarter?
That's what my dad said.
There's going to be like 5 minutes left in the game and trying to see the field position.
As long as it's before.
The last game went into overtime. And there was opportunities for like the Texans are about to win, they're about to lose, they're going to win, and then finally they won.
The contract has to be in our inbox before the end of the game. So
okay,
cool. We just want to embrace the excitement. So.
Do y'all have couples come that are not engaged yet, like just dating and they've been on the path?
Yes.
I feel like it's a great way if one of the people in the party is pushing the other one to make it happen. It's a good way for the other person to show I am serious about it, and I do want this commitment. It hasn't happened yet, but let's just go see what's out there. So that's kind of fun.
Some couples know they're getting engaged. They just are waiting for the surprise element, or for the actual question,
or to be done with school or certain things. But that doesn't mean
I had to wait to ask my wife's father.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I had to talk to him, and he's like, "Yeah, we'll talk to me. We'll talk to you about it." I was like, "Well, that's kind of what I'm doing right now, right?"
Yeah.
And then
right now,
I had to do that three times. I had to do that three times before I was just like, so I have like the ring in my pocket. I'm really trying to do it like today, like tomorrow, and just to make sure everything is okay
and testing you
and do it the right way. I guess so.
Yeah. Or he was just trying to prolong it a little bit, maybe.
Maybe. I don't know.
I mean, you seem like a nice guy.
Seemed like it.
So did you got the
okay? Obviously.
I just did it. No, yes. Yes. He said it, that it was all good, and when are you going to do it,
Yeah.
It's like, I guess
feel like
now.
our dad was like, please, yes. Yeah. Why? Don't ask me, just do it.
While we're on the topic, we do have a proposal program that if you contact us and if you get engaged at Butlers Courtyard, we give you a little discount off your package if you get married there. Yeah. And we'll have a photographer out
happens?
there.
Like people get engaged?
We've had people do it, yeah. And we'll have a photographer, maybe even make a deal with a videographer if you want it on video to come out and capture the moment. And
flowers and cake and...
So you're telling me this Sunday at 2 p.m. y'all are having the winter open house.
Yeah.
Somebody could be... their life could be changed forever. They could get engaged there.
Get engaged at the open house. That'd be cool. We've had a wedding there before, a marriage ceremony there.
Because everything's there. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
We also, our friends at Kendra Scott Baybrook give us a giveaway too. So everybody that attends, each couple represented gets an entry into that drawing. So you could walk away with some nice jewelry for your big day. And then for our couples that are currently booked and then that book by the end of the open house, they're going to get entered into a second drawing for a little getaway that Sunset Travel Team has given us. It's like 2-night, 3-day little getaway.
Wow.
So we've got a lot of fun stuff and prizes. A lot of our vendors will have their own giveaways as well. And we work with the best people. So just come on out and meet them and tour the venue. We'll have, lots of people there to answer questions and stuff. So
the whole team's going to be there, I assume.
Oh, yes.
Definitely.
Yeah. We just got through the holiday season,
invitation.
Through Christmas time. Did y'all have an opportunity to even get together like as a team and be like, Merry Christmas, Butlers, like we're hanging out?
We did. We prioritized that. It's very important that we celebrate our team because they work so hard for us. And this year we actually did it at Butlers. Usually we try to go somewhere so that we don't have to do too much work. But I think the team really preferred that.
Yeah, thanks to Robinette for
Ooh, Robinette.
doing the food and we didn't, and they helped serve and do stuff, so we didn't have to. The team didn't have to do it, but some of the team wanted to, and they set it up, and they were really excited about getting to do something for the team instead of.
Sure.
It's just a little different.
And they got to be creative and do the decor they wanted and the setup they wanted instead of executing someone else's vision. So
yeah, how many people are on the team at Butlers?
Employee wise, technically there's around 25, but our team extends beyond that. We have a social media consultant that we consider part of our team. We have an IT guy that we always is part of our team. Some of our photographers were there, the spouses, anyone that's married or
Mm-hmm.
has a significant other, we include them because without our husbands and our support system at home, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. So they're definitely a valuable part of the team, you know.
Pretty much if you work there, then your spouse is a part of it. No matter
Yeah.
what, you know.
It's a
Which
it's
is
a
nice.
package deal, huh?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's also the preferred vendors and all the vendors that y'all work with so closely. It would
Exactly.
feel like they're a part of
They
the
are.
team. They
Like our
you know
family is really,
as
I
well.
don't know what we would do without them. It's amazing.
Cool. So
Very lucky.
this event is taking place on Sunday, 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. It's an open house. It's free. You can just
Oh yeah,
come
free
in
free
and stop
food,
in.
cake, yeah.
Yeah. How many weddings did y'all have during what I will call like the Christmas season?
Wedding?
So in December we did 20 events, I believe.
Right.
Maybe 19 because one had to reschedule to January. But that's a combination of weddings, Christmas parties, luncheons. We hosted luncheon for Devereaux, Friends of Devereaux every year. That's an honor to be able to share our venue with them and the good works that they're doing. So we did 19 or 20 events in the month of December. So we were busy. Plus, we're all moms trying to make Christmas magical
Yeah.
and go to church all the
Yeah.
extra stuff
A lot
at
of
church
events.
and
All the
Yeah.
other
school
activities.
programs. And
But something neat is we did a New Year's Eve wedding this year, which
Wow.
was very.
What time? What time did they get married?
I believe they started at
Ended
6:30 or
like
7.
midnight or a
We
little
let
after.
them have a midnight cheers,
That's what
Happy
they were
New
trying.
Year.
Okay.
They did a balloon drop.
So
did
they
a
were
balloon
married
drop.
right before, and then midnight they were able to.
They had the
take that
reception
moment.
and then yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It is awesome. If
Yeah.
some people that's just what they want, it is a lot of extra stuff for us because then we had another wedding on the 2nd, which fell on a Thursday.
Yeah.
And we had to get Christmas down.
The
so that was-
2nd, 3rd. So we had a wedding on New Year's Eve. So the 31st, then the 2nd, 3rd, 4th. And we had to take down all of our Christmas in between there.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. Quick turnaround.
Mm-hmm.
Do y'all do baby showers? Like host
Yes.
those
Yes.
events?
Uh-huh.
We
What
love
space do y'all
showers.
use for that? It just depends.
The Grand Hall.
The Grand Hall, yeah.
Okay.
Usually the
How
Grand
We
many-
Hall.
had some in the tent too, depending on their numbers. But,
Yeah. How many people can it hold in there?
in the Grand Hall.
Mm-hmm.
You can hold in a significant amount. It's going to depend on the setup and what they're wanting to do. If it's more mix
Sit
and
down,
mingle, it
yeah.
can
Yeah.
hold more. We don't like to define the space. No.
Yeah.
Because everything, it just kind of depends. And I know that's kind of a vague answer, but we do events up to 250. So they would be indoor, outdoor, or we would utilize the parlor or the tent in different ways.
Yeah.
So.
Because my sister's pregnant and
Oh,
my wife is pregnant.
congratulations. Yeah, we
Yeah.
got that.
So I'm having a boy in March, and I think she's in March too. Like she's like a couple weeks, like 2 weeks ahead
Hashtag
of my
close
wife.
cousins.
Yes.
That's
and,
awesome.
So I know they're looking for a place to do a baby shower, and I
Would
don't
love
know
to do
where.
it.
So I'm gonna have to tell them to give y'all a call.
Yes, and if we're booked, or not the right space, the other place we recommend for baby showers is Sally Brook. Christy is a dear friend of ours. She's amazing. That's where Lindsay got married, and she let me host my girl's birthday party there. And it's this cute little shabby chic little place. It's perfect for
Yes,
showers. They do
cool.
weddings as well, but showers is we send all of our showers there that we can't accommodate.
Speaking of Lindsay, who is a part of the team at Butlers,
Yes.
speaking of babies and baby showers, I
Yes.
saw an announcement on Facebook, which I'm guessing since it's on Facebook and it's
It's
official,
legit,
it's
yeah.
okay to talk about.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's expecting as well.
We will be having a new BC baby around in the summer, and we're very excited.
And I'm thinking like in 16 or 17 years when they can work,
Exactly.
like it's perfect. That's like
Yeah.
it's part of the
Yeah.
team. You're born into this.
I mean, we already have her daughter Coraline there working during the week, so here, sort these things and staple these things, and
yeah.
so yeah, she's very helpful.
Again, it's part of the family.
Mhm.
It does not exclude our children.
Family
My
business.
son is 9, and he cannot wait to do toilets and trash.
Really?
So I let him practice at home as much as possible.
Hey, I like that. That's a good
Yeah.
mindset. I remember being that way with mowing the yard. Just like,
Yeah, you
hey,
can't
Dad,
wait.
I can't
Sounds
wait.
so fun.
And then, he was like, oh, here's some money. And then it
Yeah.
stopped. And I was like, oh,
Yeah. Now
I'm
you're like,
just
now I
required
have
to do
to
it.
mow.
Yeah. So we're talking to Butlers Courtyard. We have Amber, we have Shauna here in studio sharing about everything that's going on. We've already talked about the open house, and
Yes.
I'm sure we'll touch on it even more. But it starts at 2 o'clock this Sunday at Butlers Courtyard. There's going to be vendors there, over 20 vendors. You can sample food, which is very important to me.
Mhm.
Yes.
Um,
Cake.
That's this Sunday.
Yeah, we're
So
excited.
I know you said you had some tips and
I
some
do.
other things to share.
I do have a couple other things to share. Anyone listening that would be interested in getting married in this next few months, like maybe through April, we kind of have a special going. We have very few dates available, but we do want to fill those dates. So we do have an all-inclusive wedding package for any dates between now and April, basically. So if you want to call us or look on our website, but it's only $8,500, and that's 4 hours at a 5-star venue. Okay. The coordinator, the cake, the DJ, the dinner, so that includes your food and all your chairs, linens, decor, everything that we would offer. It's just if you want to get married in the next 4 months, kind of like a little special for you.
Yeah. All inclusive. That just means everything is covered, right?
You get to just show up. You get your dress, get your flowers, and show up, and it's
And your
done.
marriage certificate.
License. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a friend ask me about that. He's like, how does that work with, like if you're, because I'm ordained, and he asked me if I'd do his wedding. I was like, sure, let's go. I'll do your wedding.
Yeah.
And he said, do you charge? I was like, not for you. He was like one of the guys in my wedding, a groomsman and everything. I was like, yeah, no. So, and I told him this, and y'all can hopefully make sure that I told him good information. I was like, go to the courthouse, pay for the license.
Yes.
On the wedding day, give it to me. I have to sign it,
and then you mail it back.
And then, we send it to the courthouse back again.
Yeah. And you can either mail it. Most people mail it, or if you're kind of in a little bit of a hurry, like you can take it by hand or do like a expedited.
Yeah.
To get it official. Mike and I had to do that for his visa purposes, but.
Yeah.
And I think you have to pay a little extra, but it's probably worth it. Yeah.
How much does a marriage license cost?
I was afraid you were gonna ask that.
It's like less than $100.
I had to pay
right?
for one
Less than
twice,
$100.
so I should know. But,
same husband.
same guy.
Yeah.
But
Why? Why'd you have to get
because
2 times?
my wedding was the day of Ike, September 13th. So our wedding was canceled, obviously, because of the storm. And
You need to get the date on there.
You have to have it
within 30 days. And so we had to move our wedding, so we had to go back and purchase another one, and they had raised the price between hand. They did not give us a credit.
73 or 78. It's some kind of like a random number.
It's a random number.
And they used to only take cash, but I think at least in Lake City Annex, I think they've started taking a card now. You might just have to pay like a convenience fee or something.
Okay.
Yeah. So speaking of marriage licenses, if anybody wants to go grab theirs now and then get married on Valentine's Day.
Yes.
Well, let's talk about that. Are you going to join us that day again?
I should be able to. What day does it fall on?
It was so fun to have you. It's on a Friday.
I like Fridays.
Yeah, Friday. So we're doing our Valentine's Day extravaganza again.
Extravaganza.
And we'll come back between now and then and drop the deets on that. But $100, get married, pretty pictures, beautiful scenery, cake. Be on your way.
I saw Chelsea Manigold and her husband John. They renewed their vows. I believe they were married for 10 years. But since that moment, I saw like the journey that she's been on. She, her and her husband both kind of did like some diet and some nutrition stuff, and I was like,
expecting
man,
another baby.
She has another.
So
another
you
baby
might
coming.
say we changed her life. No.
That's what I was thinking.
We added to their
friend of mine.
family.
Yeah.
I think they're on a cruise right
They
now.
are, yeah.
Like if you get your vows renewed at Butlers Courtyard, you don't know what's possible. Apparently,
anything's possible. Yeah.
Because I was looking at her
It doesn't
life.
have to
doing
just
vow
be a
renewals,
wedding.
yeah.
It could be a vow renewal. It could be, a recommitment ceremony, which is nice because it doesn't have to be as big of a deal of all the planning because we do all the work, but it's still just as meaningful. I feel, so.
There was a cake included.
Yeah.
Cake.
Picture.
The ministers included professional photography. Last year, even our friends with the VC sent a musician. So we're going to reach out to them and see if they want to participate again. Plus, Gardy was there. So it was a fun day.
I feel like we need to put a GoPro on the strings player because he was like running from place to place trying to make it work. It was
with
kind
a
of, it
schedule.
was amazing.
Yeah, because we just did ceremony after ceremony after ceremony, and
In
we
different
had different
locations.
ministers and different coordinators, so we could get ready to start one, but we only had one musician. So he was like running back and forth.
It was amazing.
It was so
He loved it.
You're right about a GoPro
Yeah.
one.
Man, so the other day I was at Butlers Courtyard because the League City Parade, the holiday parade that they have,
Holiday
right?
in the park.
Yeah, and it was y'all had a wedding that day,
We sure did.
which I was wondering how that affected parking because everything's blocked off. I parked in y'all's parking lot, which I'm probably
That's
shouldn't tell y'all that.
illegal.
Yeah, it
Yes.
is. It definitely is. But there was
I
like
saw your car. I thought about having it.
the HEB person with the flowers came and pulled up. Actually, I didn't park. I Ubered there. I was just kidding with you. I didn't park.
Yeah.
But there was a car there. I'm not going to throw
You're one
anybody
of
under
those
the
people
bus.
that's like, I'm allowed to park here. I know the owners.
Yeah.
Everybody in town knows me, knows us or our parents. So then the parking lot gets full.
It really wasn't me, but it was somebody that, let's just say that I know, that you know, right?
So he also used our facilities at a point, I think.
He did, but I wanted to go say hi. I wanted to, but I was like,
yeah, you should have.
well, I went in, I said, hey, where's Amber? She's with the bride. I was like, yeah, no, I'm not like going in there.
Yeah.
I feel like she is in the zone. There's a lot going on. I'm not
Yeah.
going to, be
that
a
was my
distraction.
first wedding to fully coordinate by myself,
Yeah. On parade day.
which
On
I
the
didn't
parade
admit
day.
to the bride until after.
You told her after?
Because I didn't want her to be nervous. I mean, obviously, I've been around thousands of weddings and helped train coordinators and been a part of it, but I've
Right.
just never been like the sole responsible person. But I think it went awesome. Me and Michelle and
go
Frank were
awesome.
amazing. I loved them. They were the perfect first couple to do.
Did-
But the parade, yeah, let's talk about League City Holiday in the Park. Okay?
Did they know that there was a parade that day when they booked the wedding?
They should, but they did not.
Okay.
Maybe we forgot to tell them, or we didn't know the date. But
Right.
usually,
Sometimes they book before we know
sometimes,
the date.
yeah.
Mhm.
Usually, we do try to tell them because it is an amazing event, and I hope Janice is listening, Mrs. Hallisey. She and her team work so hard to put on this event for our town, and we love it. As citizens, it does
Yes.
create a logistical challenge as a business in the area. But because we've been there for 18 years or 17 years, we know how to handle it. And we have our procedures in place, and our team knows exactly what to do. We do have to block off our parking lot. We wish we could share it with the town, but that's not fair to the couple that their guests need a place to park. So we take provisions days before to like rope it off and cone it off, and even sometimes have an extra person on the team that day that
Standing there.
Just looking
stands there.
scary.
Yes, looking
With arms crossed
yes.
and like a
Our
neon
big
vest
football
on.
player, yeah. But most people are understanding when we let them know, hey, we're sorry you can't park here because of an event, you know. And then when we're done with our events, we open the gates and let whoever park.
Yeah.
The parade is a challenge. Standing in the tent, I could hear it a little bit, but let me tell you what it does. It adds this really cool like electric vibe to our little block. And so while it is
spirit for sure.
yeah, while it is a challenge, it also brings a really cool element, so it's worth it to us, and we love it.
If that is family from out of town, like if that's their first experience of League City, they are going to be impressed. It's like, wow,
yes.
this city has it going on. There's a lot of fun stuff here.
And-
I want to live here.
Exactly. And several of the guests told me that they came back. They were coming back the next day to check out what was going on in the park, you know, because they stayed locally at the hotel and stuff. So the bride and groom were excited, and, you know, maybe one year we can time it to where, like, we can have a float and the bride and groom can be on the float or something. You know, we have a lot of
Wouldn't that be
ideas.
fun?
Yeah.
Have y'all done a float in the past ever? Have y'all done one yet?
It was many years ago.
What was
did.
the theme? What did y'all do?
Thanks for asking.
This brings
So-
up some PTSD for some.
Yeah. So I put on a very gorgeous vintage wedding dress. from,
Okay.
like a resale shop somewhere.
Yes.
And I had an old high school friend join me.
Boyfriend.
No, not a boyfriend. A friend.
A friend. Okay.
A
And
friend that was a boy.
overalls on. And our father sitting in front of us, shotgun style wedding.
Oh my gosh. That is
So-
funny.
It was
In a
meant to be
convertible.
funny, yeah.
It was meant to be funny.
We
Yeah.
prefer to be observers of the parade now. I go out, which I hope it's allowed, but it already happened. So I went out like early in the morning, like 10, and put up our like we have one of those little pop-up tents, and we put up wedding chairs, and we were like, this is the Butlers Courtyard zone right here on the street. And so it was great because then Shauna and all the kids could come, and we already have a place because people start packing the streets like over an hour before the parade. It's crazy. And they park everywhere and walk from all over. And it's a huge parade, and it's amazing. And League City Proud is such a great organization, and they do a really good job of putting that on.
Kids love it. They look
Yeah. And
I know
they-
you were out there helping
Yes.
TJ, right?
Yeah.
I-45 now, so.
for the announcement.
Yeah. So they could do the stream of
Yeah.
it, which is really cool.
That is
I think.
super cool.
I think we were right down from y'all.
Yeah. And That event was a lot of fun. I had never been to it before, so that was my first experience. But
Wow.
people get into it,
Yeah.
and like the floats, like they go all out.
Yes, City Mark Church always wins. They must have like a movie producer on their team or something because
Yeah,
they do this huge production. This year they had like snow and a big snowman because the theme was Frosty. So,
yeah.
But yes, we do weddings all through that beautiful chaos, and it works just fine, and we make it work because that's what our team, that's what you're getting with Butlers Courtyard is you're getting a team of people who know what they're doing, who have the experience, and when I told the family at rehearsal what was going on, they kind of got worried, and the brother told me toward the end of the night of the actual wedding, we were worried. We were freaking out. We didn't know what to expect. He said, but we wouldn't have even known that any of that was happening if you didn't tell us ahead,
Yeah.
And it was kind of cool because, we're open to the street. So people that were walking by would like stop. Number one, I think to be respectful, but also they wanted to watch, they're far removed from the ceremony, but they can watch it from the street. So there was like a little crowd of people watching her walk down the aisle, and it was cool. We get to share kind of with the community what we're doing. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah.
Cool.
It was cool.
Yeah.
Hopefully you'll go next year. You're welcome to sit in our zone.
I'm down.
Bring the kids. Yeah.
I am down.
We love it.
I am
And
down.
then some of the restaurants put Schaefer's out, and so food,
Hot chocolate and
hot
cookies
chocolate
and
and hot dogs and hamburgers.
Yeah, there was some like food trucks and coffee like in the day because I got there, I'm going to say like 2 or 3 o'clock,
Earlier
and
in the day, yeah.
yeah, to make sure that you could get there. And so
you have to get there early. That's the trick.
when I did leave, I was trying to Uber out, but I had to walk probably about a mile to get to where they could find me. So I was like over there by Highway 3. And
Oh my God.
yeah, it was a
'cause
really
they blocked
interesting
everything
spot.
off.
Everything
Yeah.
was blocked, and then he was trying to go into it. I was like, "Nah, dude, you got to go back this way."
Yeah.
There's no way. And then get to my
the
house.
bride that night had Whataburger for like a late night bite, and so one of my team members had to try to navigate through that to get the Whataburger and get it back, and it took her probably like 45 minutes, and it's usually
Oh my goodness,
it's usually
yes.
10 tops or 15 while you're waiting, but
But
it
since we
worked
knew what
out.
was going on,
We
we
were-
planned accordingly, and
we
it
have
went smooth.
maps for the guests for alternate routes out and stuff, but they timed it to where the parade was well over before the end of the wedding. So
Yes. Okay. So, what are some tips that we can share?
okay, so as you can see with my little notebook here,
Uh-huh.
because it is engagement season, I wanted to come on today and talk to all these newly engaged couples. And what we have been in the industry close to 20 years now, and we know a lot of people and we know a lot of things. And I also reached out to our couples. So we have a Facebook group that is just for Butlers Courtyard couples of past, present, and future. Once you book, you can get added to the group. And so I asked them for some tips as well as using our own experience. Because I just feel like when you get engaged, it can be kind of overwhelming and you don't know what is important, where should I start? So I thought your listeners or their friends that are engaged would like some help, right?
I'm taking notes myself.
Take notes.
I'm already married, but my wife commented on here earlier, said we should get married again. So I'm just trying to
Please.
take
Valentine's.
it.
Do.
Valentine's.
Yeah,
Here we
let's
go.
renew
Bring
your
it.
vows at Valentine's. Okay. So one of the first tips really is important that you know the difference between a DIY venue and a full service or all-inclusive venue. So we are an all-inclusive or a full-service venue, which means we have the team there, we have the equipment there. There's a lot less work, a lot less stress, usually a pretty big financial savings in that. There's nothing wrong with either type. It's just you need to know there are two types. And in fact, I talked to a bride yesterday who was deciding between the two. And I said, every bride is different. Every couple is different. You need to go with what your heart says. But you're not comparing apples to apples, and just know that. Usually with a DIY or a venue-only rental, you're going to be doing a lot more work unless you hire an amazing coordinating team to help you. And any of listeners that are getting married at a DIY venue, we would be happy to recommend some of our friends that do coordinating that can help you with that. But, you do a DIY wedding, that means you have to go set everything up, or someone from your family does.
Can y'all be a DIY venue, or is it only
We
inclusive?
do have a venue-only rental, but we really don't like to do that because our mission and what we feel the Lord has put us here to do is to help people in this time and to have a stress-free and to make sure it goes smoothly. And when you do DIY, like you and your family are stressed and tired. They've just been moving tables and chairs all day, and and then somebody has to take them back. We experienced that with our older sister. That's why our parents got in the business. They had to take back all the rentals the next day.
They don't have the time to focus on the joy. They're focusing on all the details of
The
making
work.
sure it's what they want.
There's another sister. That's the only thing
There
I'm trying
is another
to.
sister.
Where
Yeah.
is she?
Yes.
Mind blown.
Well, currently she's in Dallas at a work meeting. But
Okay, that makes sense.
you could have us all on one day. We could have like a Richard sister. Like
Does she live here in
she
the
does.
area?
She lives in Lake City with us. We're all very close.
So she had a DIY venue wedding.
So
She's older.
she is the reason our family is in the industry. Our
Really?
mom found a venue that we all love that we could rent for the whole weekend, and it was beautiful, but it was a lot of work for all of us. And she had an amazing wedding, but we were exhausted. I mean, we had to sweep and mop the floors. Our dad had to take out the trash in the middle of the wedding because who's going to do all of that?
Right.
So if you get married at a full service venue like Butlers Courtyard, and there are a lot of us out there that are really great, you don't have to worry about any of that, and it's a lot less stressful. And you usually save money because we already own all the equipment. So you're not having to rent tables. You're not having to rent chairs. You're not having to rent linens.
Plates.
Yes, and the things that we do rent, we do it all the time. So we've worked out deals with these vendors, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's the biggest tip, is just knowing the difference and knowing what works best for your vision. And it could be either one. We're not judging, but just know they're not apples to apples.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see, what's our next? Do not wait to book your dates. And this is very important because especially people getting engaged now, they're thinking, oh, well, we're not getting married till 2021. We have time. Well, you do have some time, but why would you wait? If you know that's what you want to do, go ahead and book it now. And we hear this all the time. I'm not till 2021. I'm not booking it yet. Okay, but what if your date gets taken? That's one thing. What if we go up on our prices?
Why
wait?
A lot of the times with the way that the years have been following, I think people look at the numbers and it's like, oh, you can make these cool things with numbers. So if there's a date that's important to you, or it's like, I'll never forget my anniversary if it's
10,
on
20.
Yeah.
10, 10, 20.
Oh, yeah, 10, 10, 20.
That's been booked
10,
for
10,
years.
20's gone,
and
guys.
we get
Yeah.
calls and messages about it
Oh,
almost every day. But we could have booked it 100 times.
Yeah.
Okay, but so the reasons to not wait is you do have a longer time to make your plans, and you have a longer time to make payments. So you can be chipping away and not have to make these big, huge chunks of payments, okay? So even if you're in 2021, go ahead and book, or later in 2020. You have your pick of the dates at the venue of your choice, whatever that is. You don't have to go, well, I really loved, Butlers Courtyard, but they didn't have my date, so now I have to settle for my second choice. You get your pick. And the best vendors, you have your pick of vendors the farther out you book. Again, if you fall in love with a videographer who's so awesome, well, if they're already booked, you have to find another one.
Mm-hmm.
And it just gives you peace of mind. Like, that big decision is already made. I have the date. It's already done. And then everything else falls in place around your venue and your date, right? Right now is open house season for venues. You mentioned we have ours on Sunday at 2:00, but guess what? So do all of our venue friends. We're all having open houses this weekend. I will go ahead and give a shout out and a plug to my friend Angela at Tuscan Courtyard. She came with me that time.
Mm-hmm.
Her open house is on Saturday. There are all venues are having open houses in January, pretty much. That's just the way it works. We call it open house and show season. So, go check out all these venues. When you find the one that sings to your heart, ask them what kind of incentives they're giving. I mean, that's just kind of an insider tip. We're giving away some great incentives. And so, ask. It doesn't hurt to ask.
Yeah. I pass by the Tuscan Courtyard like all the time. After I-45 and 646, that construction, I found like all these alternates to work.
Yeah.
Like, trying to find a portal somewhere, but going by that place, I'm like, I wonder what that is, and it's the
beautiful.
venue.
It is a beautiful venue, and she's a dear friend of ours, and so
cool.
She has a different vibe than us, so we get to help each other and share, and we'll be on. I'll bring her on again when we do that passport tour again.
Okay, cool.
Make sure when you are touring venues, so this is the next tip, bring the decision makers with you. We are happy to do as many tours as you want. We have no limit. Some venues do. So ask that first, how many times can I come? Some will only let you come one time before you make your decision. But it's important that if your dad is paying, so he has to have a say, bring him on the tour with you. Obviously, that saves our time, but it saves your time too. Why would you want to go back to these venues again? Narrow it down on the line or whatever to 2 or 3 and ask dad to come with you on your tours, or sister-in-law or the groom or whoever has to help make the decision. Bring them with you the first time. That's a big tip we have.
How many people can you bring? Do you see people that hey, I got like 20 people that are coming with me for some reason?
I don't think we've had 20, but we've had upwards of 8, 10.
So that's another nice thing about our open house is we encourage them to bring their family so they can experience and taste food and do all of that. That way it doesn't have to later. Well, what about this and that? It's one-stop shop. And
a lot of the grooms and dads, even though the open houses are full of people and they can be a little chaotic, they kind of prefer that because they don't feel like we're selling to them.
We're not pressured.
Exactly.
Right. Not that there would be, but
they can tour themselves at their own pace and watch the game, stop and watch the game in the tent.
Yeah.
So go ahead and if you can, bring decision makers with you on the tours. This is a big tip that I've been giving since my friend got married, I guess. 13 years ago. When you're building your guest list, you do it in a spreadsheet, right? Because that's the way to stay organized with everyone's address and email address and all that. Number each group of guests. So if it says like Mr. and Mrs. Garcia, you would be number 1. And don't just use the number that Excel assigns, but assign everyone a number. When you get ready to send your RSVP or your invitations with your RSVP card, write that corresponding number on the RSVP card, because guess what? People don't fill out that little line. It's got like an M and you're supposed to write the R and Mrs. Garcia are attending. They don't fill that out and they just send it back. It happens every single time. Wow. They either don't know or they're in a rush or whatever. And so then you're like, well, this is 3
Somebody's
people,
coming.
but I don't know who. So if it has that number, that's a little cheat sheet for you and you know exactly who it is. That's a very good tip. That's an important one.
We should be charging for these.
I'm just spilling my free knowledge here. I also got some tips from the brides, and I know we're running low on time, so maybe I'll just do a couple and then we'll save some for next time.
All right.
Let's see. What was one?
Bride tips.
Yeah, these are from our Butlers Courtyard brides. They're all so good. I wish I could share them all.
It's really cool to have
help if you need it. That's a good one. Okay, this is a good one, especially for the audience today, right? Don't sweat the small stuff. At the end of the day, you barely notice the little things, and this is a quote. Have fun. You want to remember it as fun the whole way, start to finish. The important thing is you're marrying, your person.
Or it should be.
And you should be focused more on the marriage than all the little details that in the long run don't matter. And that's something that we can really help you with because we take away so much of the stress and the anxiety. You have people, right? That's people who don't have people, they're stressed because they're doing it all themselves. With us, we're doing a lion's share of the work for you. We're guiding you. We're there to hug you, to have planning sessions. So, that to me was a big tip is don't just focus on all the little small stuff.
You know what tip I would like to hear?
Yes.
I would like to hear brides, grooms, people's advice how to deal with life post marriage, because let's say for 2 years you've been engaged, a year you've been dating, maybe you have kids already, maybe you don't. You've been planning this big event. It's a milestone in your life. And then a lot of the times it's done. It's like, well, now what?
Exactly.
How do you kind of transition into married life after the big milestone event?
And I think that's why honeymoons became such an important thing, because after any kind of milestone event, you have kind of like a letdown, like mental, emotional, physical, and so it's nice to go on that honeymoon and relax and be able to reconnect or connect back again and say, okay, this is what we were doing it for. We were doing it for this relationship.
Yeah. And my wife, I think she said she felt like she should be planning something.
Yes.
I should still be planning on something. Yeah, where should I put all that work that I was doing in the wedding and organizing? What should I be planning? Maybe there's something that you can that I don't know.
A lot of moms feel that too. It's not just the brides, but they're like, they come in afterward to pick up something or say thank you or whatever, and they're like, we feel empty. We feel like we're bored,
Yeah.
So that's a common feeling.
That's why a lot of couples start focusing on buying a house or decorating or pick a project to have in store and kind of have it in your head like, this is a great project, but I'm going to save this for after the wedding so that my attention can turn to this.
Yeah.
Something to do.
That is good.
Or babies.
Immediately babies.
I'm reading this other tip from one of our brides, and it's on the financial side, because finances are really important when spending a big chunk of money on an event like this. It is an important event. You can't go back. So, of course, we think you should invest. It's an investment, right? Mm-hmm. Don't go into debt for it if you can avoid that. But this specific tip, I think it came from Jessica, our bride from just last week. Pick your top 3 vendor categories of vendors. So what is your priority? What is most important to you? And with every couple, that's different, right? But once you have those like numbered, then you'll know in your planning process when things get crazy or you get tempted to overspend or whatever, you'll know what's important to you. So for instance, if your top 3 are video, a coordinator, and your dress, then you'll know, well, I can scrimp a little bit on the invitations and the flowers are not as important to me. So I'll go with a lesser flower package or whatever. You'll know what is important to you. And I think that's really important to know that, and keep your eye on that.
Yeah. I think
that was a good tip from her.
Capturing the memory is very, very important.
Video, spend the money on video, which several of our couples said that.
We have that couples, if they say, well, I didn't put that into my spending goal and video wasn't. And
people don't realize how much, the work. And everybody does have a cell phone now, so it's like, oh yeah, they just show up with not a cell phone, but a camera.
Yeah.
But there's a lot that goes into it, and
the sound is not the same.
Right.
The videographers,
the pictures are nice, but you want to hear what they said when they toasted you, or
For my wedding, there's a highlight video and raw footage. All of the footage is there. We have it. We have it all.
That's cool.
So that's fun. I guess if we ever wanted to go retell the story, you could.
I asked my videographer to do the nice version, but then to have the raw because I wanted to hear. When they were interviewing people, the kind of funny stuff that he didn't want to put in there.
Yeah,
but that's what your family said, and you want to hear it, whether it was good or bad.
Is there anything else that you would like to share? Maybe remind everybody about Sunday?
Sunday, 2 to 5, Butlers Courtyard open house.
Bring your friends and family.
Bring your family.
And Butlers Courtyard, if you are getting married, planning on getting married, maybe you've been married before, you have kids, you're dating, you're single, come out.
Want to propose.
You need somewhere to watch the Texans game?
Yes.
There's a lot of things.
Be fun.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is we're going to take a quick break on the FM. I'm going to end the stream. Thank you so much. And I'm going to restart it. And I got my friends from the Texas City Lamarck Chamber of Commerce coming in. So we're going to have a good time. But again, y'all are obviously welcome back anytime that you would want.
We'll be back.
And
we
we'll
need to come back and talk about Valentine's Day.
Oh,
and real quick plug, the birthday ball is coming up. And we only have about 4 or 5 tickets available.
That's it?
Yes.
We are killing it,
That's
Gardy.
awesome,
and Gardy's going to be our MC, and
I
got to get you in a tux. When is that happening?
Dressed up. That's worth coming just to see, I feel like.
Oh, man. Okay. Yes. This is KHEA Radio, 99.5 FM. All right, Facebook. I'm ending the stream, and we'll be right back.
Back, Jack.